Get up.
He is the one.
The ocean chose you.
That was perfect. I am the chosen one.
I'm literally built as an athlete. Every blood test I've ever done has said that I am like over the normal limit of athleticness.
Yeah.
Every new day, new week, new month, new year, we get inspired to achieve something amazing, to grow, to go beyond our limits. We feel so motivated and convinced that yes, this will be the time we'd finally be able to spur an action to have real progress. But days went by, the moon waxed and waned, seasons changed. Our most ambitious goals stay just words, while we see other people living our dreams. It's no use, we tell ourselves. Extraordinary things are done by extraordinary people.
But I do know that I'm special.
For us who were not born with the IQs of Einstein or the lungs and physique of Michael Phelps, we shouldn't aim so high.
Anderson, don't talk out loud. You lower the IQ of the whole street.
Mediocrity is meant for us regular, ordinary people. Thus, days, weeks, months, years pass by. Our once ambitious goals are long forgotten. Ordinary went from an excuse to a reality. But it does not have to be your reality. Hello, it's been a little while since I've done a growth and self-improvement video, and what better way to kick off the new year, or to be honest, any time of the year, with a video of how ordinary people like me and maybe you can still go step by step to achieve things that in conjunction are no longer ordinary. By all means, I'm not a Nobel Prize winner yet. I'm not on the Forbes list yet. And I'm not at the front row of Paris Fashion Week yet. But I've done a few things that other people called impossible and gave me all their doubts before I achieved them. Like going from never having straight A's my entire life to graduating UCLA top 5% in 3 years with a major, minor, and summa cum laude, or passing all 4 4-hour-long CPA exams in 2 months with an average of 93.5 against a passing score of 75, or starting YouTube in 2020 and growing our community to 500K, or going from using food to cope with stress and getting freshman 30 to losing that 30 pounds and becoming in control of my weight and health. Now, none of these things are over the roof special or extraordinary, but these are goals that matter to me, and once upon a blue moon seemed super far-fetched and impossible to achieve before I made them my reality. So today I want to share with you how you don't need to be extraordinary to live the most ambitious life you wish for. Extraordinary starts from ordinary. Start small.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Ever wondered, wow, how did that person lose 30 pounds? Or how did that person start her own company that's now publicly traded? Or how did that person become a millionaire or billionaire so young? An illusion extraordinary success creates is that it takes extraordinary talent, intelligence, and even luck to end up at a place like that.
Look at you lot. You're all so vacant. Is it nice not being me? It must be so relaxing.
Dear God, what is it like in your funny little brains? It must be so boring.
We see TikTokers who blew up the internet in days and become financially well off for the rest of their lives. We see a company goes public and the founder's net worth suddenly rises in insane multiples. We get so caught up in the end result, the result so grand that we cannot wrap our heads around the road to get there, or even where the starting point is. But if we look closer, these extraordinary hits are made of small wins and progress.
By a show of hands, how many of you believe you could replicate this image of Brad Pitt with just a pencil and piece of paper?
You can't lose 30 pounds without losing that first pound.
How many of you believe you could replicate this image of a solid gray square?
You can't become a billionaire without making your first dollar.
Every one of us. And if you can make one gray square, you can make 2, 3, 9.
You can't paint a masterpiece without making the first dab of color.
Truth of the matter is, if you could make just one gray square, it'd be very difficult to argue that you couldn't make every gray square necessary to replicate the image in its entirety. And there you have it. I've just given you the skill necessary to become a world-class artist.
In the first law of motion, an object will not change its motion unless a force acts on it. The first step is always the hardest. It requires the most amount of effort, and the push needs to be the greatest, because by making the first action, you are already changing your mindset from believing you won't be able to achieve something to already being on the path of achieving it. The secret to being extraordinary is to be good at being ordinary first.
You see, what stands between us and achieving even our most ambitious dreams has far less to do with possessing some magical skill or talent, and far more to do with how we approach problems and make decisions to solve them.
It's ordinary to do ordinary things, but extraordinary when the small and ordinary things are all done well. Good skin comes from everyday good self-care. A timeless film is made of each and every frame. A sports champion is made of every practice, every small decision. Dissect your goal into smaller pieces. A YouTube channel starts with one video. Being active starts with one session of workout. A robust GPA starts with one assignment or one test. Reading 30 books a year starts with reading one line of one book. Make each day and each small action count. Extraordinary is just an execution of a cluster of small and ordinary things. Droplets of water were just water before forming an ocean. Don't overlook the power of compounding. Just like personal finance, compounding works the same with habit building. The benefit you earn from a good habit you practice will in return help you practice that habit better in the future. The easiest example is working out. The muscles you build will in return give you the strength to lift the same weight at more ease so that you can do more reps or increase the weight. The same goes for everything else. I remember that in high school, I hated reading. Hopefully none of my English lit teachers watch any of my videos because I literally survived off of Spark Notes. And when I wanted to pick up reading again in college, because, I wanted to have more depth to my thoughts, it was painful. I would have the same book sitting on my desk for a quarter just to feel good about having a book there, while staying on the same page, probably one of the first pages, for 30 days. So my goal to read 10 books a year, which honestly was not a lot, just fell apart easily. But when I changed my goal from reading 10 books to just reading one page a day, okay, one page and stop, which helped me graduate to 2 pages, then 3, then I got caught up in the books that the momentum naturally propelled me to continue reading. The very same for getting up to speed with fitting the courses of my major and minor in 3 years while still ensuring the quality of my grades. So, consistency over intensity. And for anyone trying to expand their knowledge and mindset but don't have the time to read, I have good news for you. Super excited that our sponsor today, Audible, gives members 1 free audiobook and full access to the Plus catalog every month. The new Audible original podcast, Deepak Chopra's Mind Body Zone, helps expand your awareness and teaches you to live outside the box through empowering conversations with leaders like Oprah Winfrey, X Gonzalez, Jasmine Stanley. Each episode comes with guided meditations for you to connect your mind, body, and whole self to the world around you.
We get to choose how people remember us. We get to choose what we want that impact to be.
There's a 30-day free trial. Go to audible.com/wellbeing to start expanding your mind with a wide range of self-care and self-development titles. Listen now, only on Audible. How to set a realistic timeline. Sometimes, or a lot of times, we get caught up in the impossible list of pending things to do that we become so overwhelmed to the point that we take no actions at all. Hence, procrastination. According to a survey conducted by an educational tech company, distraction was found to be the most common reason for procrastination at 48%, followed by feeling overwhelmed and unable to decide where to start at 40%. Rather than doing what we know would be beneficial for our development, we squander our time on social media and live in an escapism from the reality that we haven't done much. Rather than focusing on what we can do at the moment, we fear the large list of things we need to do in the future for that seemingly impossible milestone. We get so caught up in this imagined and intensified future to-do list that leads to our paralysis in the present. A paralysis of inaction so that the list and our anxiety level build on. There are two ways to tackle this, and they can be used at the same time. Number one, plan. Planning is an art on its own because poor planning leads to poor execution. Ever realize that when you're given the deadline of something way into the future, it just slips down your agenda and gets forgotten until you remember the night before and start to panic? Or when you're told to complete a difficult assignment under an unreasonable time, like 30 minutes, and you straight up just give up. When it comes to giving yourself deadlines, the sweet spot is always in between these two extremes. And I can't give you the exact length. You have to find it yourself and constantly adjust. For example, when I started YouTube in 2020, my initial goal was to be able to make one video per month. And that changed to every 3 weeks, to 2 weeks, to 1. Plans are supposed to help you and not restrict you. So set the deadlines and don't forget to reasonably adjust them, meaning not to fit 3 workouts in one day, but also stop pushing your workout to the next day for the next 4 weeks. Number 2, focus on the present. Let me tell you a secret. Every time I go for a 40-minute cardio, I feel like dying the first 10 minutes. Every time at the 10-ish minute mark, I just want to stop and call it a day. Like if I were to tell myself, hey, you got another solid 30 or more minutes to go, that would just kill my stamina. But instead, I would just tell myself, okay, 1 more minute. And that minute leads to the next one, then the one after. And 40 minutes go by super quickly while I still feel like I can keep on going. I'm not saying that having a forward-thinking mindset and planning for the future is not important. But when our goal is grand and far, thinking too much about the work and struggles waiting to be experienced doesn't add much value to the progress. So instead of thinking, how many more times do I need to hit the gym before my abs start showing, focus on each and every single workout and feel the challenge and growth of each workout. Celebrate the small wins because the big win at the end is nothing, but all the small wins added up. Expect mistakes and failures. No one is free from flaws. And of course, there are many external factors we cannot control. In other words, shit happens. Yes, you might get sick and might need to skip out on a whole week of workouts. Yes, a professor might just hate the way you write your paper and give you a grade that will lower your GPA. Yes, you might have made a business decision that lost you money. These things happen. In fact, it's rare if they don't. When we see the success achieved by others, we don't see the times they've been rejected, hurt, torn, breaking down. But no one's success comes with an easy, smooth ride, guaranteed. So instead of letting any curveballs throw you off the rails, expect them to be part of the journey and create a remediation plan for the things that you can control. Don't waste your time and energy on the things that are outside of your circle of influence. The weather, people's opinions, the algorithm. Focus on the things you can control, like making a recovery workout plan. Focus on performing well in your remaining courses, learning from the decision that created a loss. A really good example that comes up in my mind is eating clean. In the past, I used to have days when I didn't eat so healthy, so I thought, why would it matter if I just go all out and eat a bunch of junk food and snacks, hence go down the rail of breaking the habit of eating healthy? But remember, the art of turning the ordinary to extraordinary is making every action count. So to summarize, extraordinary is built from the ordinary. Start small, make a plan, stay consistent, make the mistakes, bounce back, and repeat. Hope you can turn that extraordinary life you wish for a reality. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow me on Instagram to join me on my growth journey. See you next week. Bye.
This is the end.